Hi, I'm Mrs. McDonald, and I'm here to read another story to you today. Today, I'm actually sitting on a baseball field. I have not been one that has spent time on this side of the fence, but this is the baseball field where my son Jack, my oldest son, played ball whenever he was in high school, and he actually holds the record for the most strikeouts at our school. And this is the professional team that we root for, the Cleveland Indians. But really, my favorite teams are always the ones that my kids are on. I'm here to read a baseball story for you, so I thought I should bring my bat because the name of it is Casey at the Bat. I actually can hit the ball pretty good. Not in a real game. When I come to a game, I usually have to have my licorice because, I don't know, I like to eat licorice when I'm watching a baseball game. And my kids, of course, you know, the glove. So I brought that just to keep me company so that I'd be in the mood for a baseball story. The name of the baseball story that I'm going to read is Casey at the Bat, and this is a classic. It's really a poem, and it's a very old one. It's a ballad of the Republic sung in the year 1888. That's a long time ago. I wasn't even born yet. And it's illustrated by Christopher Byng, and it was written by Earnest Lawrence Thayer. So, without further ado, I'll read this, and I'll let it speak for itself instead of me telling you what it's all about. Okay? I hope you can see well. Casey at the Bat. This is like a picture of a front of a newspaper. Mudville Monitor. So, this is about a story in Mudville. There it goes. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one inning more to play. And then when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to that hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a Lulu and the latter was a cake. So upon the stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, that much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second and Flynn a huggin' third. Then from 5,000 throats and more there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It knocked upon the mountain and recoiled upon the flat. For Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. Here's Casey. You see him there? There was an ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face. And when, responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat, no stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while a writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye. A sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watchin' it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted some one from the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew, but Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two." "Fry fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echo answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. And that's the end. I really like that. I like it because I don't know. He's so full of himself that he doesn't even try. Isn't that horrible? I don't know. That's always bothered me. At first, whenever I heard this story when I was a little kid, this poem, I always thought that, you know, I don't know. I didn't understand that basically this story was about this guy thinking that he was just all that, to the point where he was so prideful that he just let the ball go by as though he's able to hit it. And he let the whole town down, his whole team down, when they lost the game, when he could have tried. But, oh well. Let me show you this around a little. See, now, here, whoop, 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 whoop. Here is the opponent team's dugout. Here, look, there is home plate covered up, waiting for the next game. They cover it up to make sure that if it rains, it doesn't get ruined. There's the home dugout. There's the pitcher's mound. So, there you get a big look at my field. But anyhow, I just love watching my kids play baseball, and I hope you enjoyed that poem, and I guess I'll talk to you later. Bye.